Hey guys, my name's Betty, and this is my first kind of delve into the video blogging or vlog or whatever it is world. Thought I would give it a go because it's something that's been on my mind for a little while, starting YouTube channels or something like that. Generally, I've always thought about it in relation to my business. So I have a cake business. Business, loosely call it a business. I make cakes anyway. It's my passion turned into a job. Well, not really a job because I enjoy it. So calling it a job feels really wrong for me. It's a bit of play. It's expression for me. Always come from a creative background. Always wanted to get into arts or performing. But I just kind of thought, it could be a little bit of a tricky industry to get into. I don't know. Maybe a bit of self-doubt there. But then I ended up falling into making cakes for friends and family, and then it kind of just grew from there, and I realized how much I actually loved it. And it's one of those things that for me has always been there since I started doing it 10 years ago. I left high school and I was like, oh, what the fuck am I doing? And just kind of fell into that. And, I've chopped and changed. I'm generally one of those people that has a different job every so often. Usually it's always around the same thing. It's customer service, it's hospo, it's something like that. Just if I need a bit of extra dosh. But cakes have always been one of those things that's consistently been there. It's, I just know I can just pick it up, start it again if I want to, or if I just need a break, I can just put it on the back burner. But yeah, so I've kind of always wanted to do something, I guess, on the internet with it. I've got the Instagram, the Facebook, and all that, but I don't know. Social media still kind of weirds me out a little bit. Generally, I put more quotes and more like inspirational things from other people. TED Talks and just like my Facebook wall is just full of TED Talks. And yeah, creative bits and bobs generally is what's on my Instagram. So it is my cakes, but it's also other stuff. So I guess this is actually going to be a bit like that. So I do want to incorporate the journey with my business, and I feel like now would be a good time to start it. You can see this little alcove I'm in is actually the first step of my next journey. I've just recently leased a shop, and it's going to give me a little bit more freedom and expression. I guess it's something as well that I've wanted to do for a while, so I feel like, if I start accomplishing all these, well, not accomplishing, just like starting the first step with all these little things that I've wanted to do, and kind of keep it as a journey of progression. I can see the growth, can see, where I'm going with it. Yeah, so this is a bit of a creative outlet. And it's going to encompass a little bit more than just the cakes. I've never really just wanted to be like Betty the cake girl. And generally when I get called like that, like, oh, you're the cake girl, it's like, yeah, I guess, like, people always tell me, oh, your business name doesn't really like sound like cake. Like, it's a bit ambiguous. And I've always wanted it to be ambiguous because I never wanted to put myself into a corner where it's like, well, it's just Betty's Cakes. And then all I'm stuck with is that. It started as that because that's all it was. And I used to love doing that, like the really crazy designed cakes. And I still enjoy that. It is quite time consuming and tiring. And that is another thing I'm very like weary of, because I do tend to fall into work quite easily, but also like not even 110%, like 199%. I don't know. Like I completely burn myself out. I just take too much on board, and I just think, oh yeah, I can do this, and it's great, and like I do all these different jobs, and go, and then I completely just crash out as well, because I usually do it all by myself. Well, my business is run by myself, but I've always had other jobs on the side, so, and I tend to take too much on board and just think I can do this, and then I compromise something in my life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's my health. Generally, usually my health, and that's really shit, because my health is one thing that I really have always been quite passionate about. Taking care of this vessel, because if I can't move it the way I want, it's very, it is limiting. And I'm pretty freaking lucky to have one that, we've all got our limits, but I'm pretty lucky to have one that is fairly limitless to an extent. Can't really jump out of a plane without a parachute. It's not going to end well, but yeah. So this is going to be a little bit of viewing my journey, but it's also going to be a space for a creative outlet. It's going to be my verbal brain vomit out in the world as well. I like to express myself. I like to talk. Being in customer service and stuff, I love getting to know people, even just being out, it's great, I love getting to know interesting characters and stuff, but I also really like expression, and I think one thing is we should be able to express ourselves, and we shouldn't ever worry about saying what's on our mind. If it's not said with malicious intent, you're not saying it to hurt anybody, it's just an expression, and I really think anything should be up for discussion. There are a lot of influential talkers and stuff, which I'm going to pay mention to as well. Not everybody's cup of tea, but for me, they've been really good and helped me through some things, or just, sometimes when I felt a bit off the planet and a bit alien, and then I listen to them and I'm like, oh, it's okay, because I'm not the only alien. There's a fuck ton of aliens here on Earth, which is great. And all different types of aliens from all different planets, and different types of people. Zombies. We've got some zombies. Walking around a bit brain dead. That's a little bit me this morning. It's why I think I've had 6 coffees. It's probably why I'm deciding to do this, and now I've got my big fuck off cup of tea. It's the only thing I could find to put tea in. Everything else can't bother doing the dishes today, so that's all I got. But yeah, so I guess what really sparked me to start this was something that I stumbled upon fairly recently called Savannah Brown, and I think I just literally watched her all night on YouTube. I watched all of it. I just got so addicted. 20-year-old woman, and she's amazing. Her poetry is amazing. Her music is amazing, and she speaks about so many topics and expresses herself, and some of them are quite hard topics to talk about, and this is as well what this channel is going to be about. So it's not just going to be about my little creative journey, but it's also going to be about expression. And some people are probably going to not agree with me at all, or not even like what I have to say. I don't really give a shit. It's kind of how I work anyway. You don't like what I have to say. Well, that is up to you. Sorry, not sorry. really? That's how I feel about it. But yeah, so there are some topics that have been on my mind as well that I like to talk about, and yeah, so this is also going to be that. Um, so expression in lots of forms, creatively, mentally. Um, yeah, I guess that's really the introduction. Um, so if you want to see, I guess, my business and the stuff that I'm kind of doing, um, A Little Misbehavin' was my original business name, and I've still kept that. It's more of a personal thing now, so it's more just like me expressing myself, still keeping it as a business, sort of, but my cakes are under Betty's Sweet Spot now. So it's like I've got the cake life and I've got misbehaved life. Yeah, so, and I've made a vow to myself to never work another day in my life because there is no point working. It's all a bit of play, really. I don't ever want to have another job. So I guess working, depending on the meaning behind it. So in a job sense, I'm never going to have a job again. I'm just going to enjoy. I'm going to play. This again came, like, it really sparked from another influential person. A lot of you probably know Alan Watts. And if you don't, check out Alan Watts. He is a fucking gun. Does, yeah, so many great metaphysical discussions. Real down to earth, really switched on. But he talks about, he does this great talk, and it's, there's two different talks that if I could first introduce you to, and one is Life is Not a Journey. Check that one out. And also Work is Play. And it changes your mindset. Yeah, so vowed to never work another day in my life. I am only going to play, and I am going to need some help on my journey. I can't just do it alone. I've got so many beautiful, amazing, talented people around me. So I never want them to work for me, though. I've never been okay with the hierarchy thing, and I've always been a manager or something like that. And it feels weird to me because I don't really like the hierarchy, and I've had to delegate, and I've had to do all the bullshit shit like firing and hiring and rostering and emails and put your shit together sort of shit, and I don't like that. It felt really out of character for me. I could do it, and it did prove to me pretty much how much of a hard ass I could be, and I don't like really being a hard ass. I want to work with people. Everyone's got such an amazing thing to bring. If you let them express themselves creatively, and that's the one thing why I've vowed to never work again or work for somebody. If my friends ask me to help them in their jobs and their ventures, sure, I will help them, and I would love to watch their vision grow and be a part of helping them with that. But also, I need to know my own limitations, and yeah, so I can't physically burn myself out, mentally, emotionally, physically, all that. And if I have someone working with me, that's exactly what it will be. No one's ever going to work for me. I will never invite anyone to ever work for me again. I want them to work with me. I want to collaborate. I want expression. I want their expression. So yeah, little introduction to me. It'll probably make a little bit more sense later on. If I haven't made any sense, I don't know. I've got too much caffeine in me, and not enough sleep, out dancing, crazy o'clock. Yes, lots of dancing. There's going to be so much dancing. I love dancing. Everybody should dance. Life is too short not to dance. Anyway, yeah, so that's me. My name's Betty. Thank you for listening to me blabber on if you've listened to this. But I'm going to put some shout outs as well down below of some of those influential people, Savannah Brown and Watts. More names will pop up as it goes on. So, yeah, thank you. Have a good night. Bye.